Are you coming to Bonaire to shore dive? Are you considering staying at the Marriott Courtyard Bonaire? Would you like a tour of the property and a review to help you decide whether or not it's the right place for you to stay? Well, that's what we're talking about in this video, and we're doing it right now. Hey folks, Kevin here with a review and overview of the Marriott Courtyard Bonaire. Liz is out of town, but she wants you to know that she approves this video and agrees with everything I'm about to tell you. Now Liz and I have stayed at the Courtyard Marriott Bonaire several times, I think 4 to be exact. We've stayed anywhere from 2 to 3 nights at a time, upwards of a week. We've stayed in their standard rooms as well as one of their 2-room suites, so we've got a pretty good idea of what this property has to offer the average Bonaire visitor. So in this video, what we're going to do is I'll give you a tour of the property, then walk you through one of the standard rooms, then we'll wrap it up with the pros and cons of the property, at least as I see them. Sound good? Then let's dive right in to a tour of the Marriott Courtyard Bonaire. Located mid-island right between the airport and Crowlandike, the Courtyard Marriott Bonaire just might be the perfect home base for all of your island activities. With only 115 rooms, the Courtyard has a cozy feel, but still offers big resort service. So let's wander around the property and get a feel for what the Courtyard has to offer. All ground floor rooms have outdoor seating for enjoying the canal views, with upgraded rooms offering patios with barbecue grills. And there's additional outdoor space throughout the property for all guests to enjoy. If you're enjoying this video, how about taking a giant stride onto our subscribe button? Then make sure you hit the notification bell too, so you'll be made aware when we have new content for you to enjoy. The open-air restaurant sits adjacent to the pool and offers daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The infinity pool overlooking the canals is a great place to relax after a long day of vacation fun. Now, let's take a look at one of the hotel's standard rooms. Okay, let's take a look at our room here at the Courtyard Marriott. This is a king standard island view. Typical Marriott room. This hotel is still relatively new, only about 10 years old. It's starting to show its age, but typical room. Nice and spacious for a couple, especially if it's just one person. Nice room. I'm close to the parking lot. This is an island view with a little bit of the canal. 2 chairs out there. This is actually a good room for this time of day. The sun's not beating down too hard. We are here in the afternoon around 4 o'clock. The couch is not a sleeper sofa. King bed. You do have TV and a very small mini fridge. I hear it will hold about 15 Amstel Bright. Don't quote me on that. You do have a closet here with plenty of hangers. I've already got some luggage in there. There is a safe. One good thing about the Marriott, since it is a newer property, is there are plenty of plugs and outlets to charge things and plug things in. Bathroom. There is a shower door that closes You may find it odd that I mentioned that, but many showers here on the island don't have a shower door that closes, and the water, like in a lot of Caribbean places, just flows out everywhere. Bathroom's small, but it's fine. But this is the Marriott Courtyard, King Island view. Great hotel. Well, folks, that's the property. What do you think? Do you think it's a place you'd like to stay? Before you decide, let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the property, at least as I see them. The biggest pro, at least for Liz and I, is you can book the Marriott Courtyard Bonaire and stay there for free using your Marriott Bonvoy points. Now, it's a great redemption rate if you're a Bonvoy member, whether you accumulate points through hotel stays at Marriott properties or you use one of the Marriott branded credit cards. You cannot find a better place or a vacation destination to use your points than the Marriott Courtyard Bonaire. What's nice about it is that it is a very low redemption rate compared to other Caribbean destinations, certainly other vacation destinations for a Marriott property. On average, I think we see anywhere from 12,500 points per night to 17,500 Bonvoy points per night, which means you can get a week for around 100,000 points, because when you book with Bonvoy points, your 5th night is free. So you're only paying for 6 nights with points as opposed to 7. So it's a very good redemption rate when you consider compared to other vacation destinations. So we really like using our points at the Courtyard on Bonaire. Now, if you've got free night certificates through Marriott, it might not be the best redemption rate or value for the dollar. I've used them there, and you can, but I would save those for Marriott properties that are more in the 30 to 35,000 point per night range. But if you're a Bonvoy member, there's no better place, and that's what we love about the Courtyard Bonairs. We can stay for free, and let's face it, what's better than free? Now, if you're not a Bonvoy member, we'll talk about that in the cons section. Now, other good things about the property is it's a relatively modern property. It's relatively new. You've got air conditioning throughout every room. Now, granted, that's only one room, right? But as you know, most of the villas on the island are AC in the bedrooms only. So it's a very comfortable property. There are plenty of electrical outlets in the rooms. And think about all the charges you have, whether it's phone chargers, camera batteries, iPads, tablets, computers, whatever you have. There are plenty of outlets, and they're laid out throughout the room. You're not having to move furniture to find that one outlet that's in the room. You've got plenty of plugins throughout the room specifically for your charger, so we really like that about it. There is an on-site restaurant as well, which is a pro. You're not going to stay there for the restaurant. It's a good restaurant, don't misunderstand. The food is good, but it's not a destination restaurant. It's doubtful if you weren't staying there that you would eat at the restaurant, but it's nice, it's open air. Lunch, dinner, breakfast, it's available to you wherever you need it. So if you don't want to leave the property one night, you can eat at the restaurant on site. It's a really good location for this property. In my opinion, it's central on the island. So especially if you're a diver and you want to dive north and south, you're central. You're not going to have to drive out of the way to get to one end of the island over the other based on your diving schedule that day or that week. Even if you're not a diver, let's say you're a kiteboarder or windsurfer, it's close to the southern end of the island. So it's a really nice location, allowing you to get there as opposed to staying in the north. Nice and central, very close to Crawlin Dyke, which is where all the best restaurants are. Not the only ones and not the only good restaurants, but it's nice and central there, so you don't have to worry about going too far at night for dinner. It's also a good, safe location in regards to it's on its own little peninsula in the canal system on Bonaire. And there's really no other reason for you to be there unless you're a guest. I mentioned there's a restaurant, but you're probably not going there unless you're a guest there. So the chance of folks coming in and out of the hotel that are not guests are slim. There's not a casino. It's not on the ocean, so there's no house reef to dive. So it's from the perspective of having non-guests on site, you should have very few, if any. So in my opinion, that's another pro. Another good thing about this property is the Wi-Fi is good throughout the property. It's very good in the rooms, certainly good in the lobbies. You'll see with a lot of other resorts that you may only have Wi-Fi close to the check-in or in certain areas of the resort. At the Courtyard, you've got Wi-Fi throughout, and it's really good. So those are some of the things we like about the property, especially Bonvoy points. Now let's talk about some of the things that may not be the best about the Courtyard Marriott Bonaire that may keep you from staying there. Okay, so what may keep you from staying at the Courtyard Bonaire, or what some may see or perceive as cons or drawbacks, would be the location. We've talked about some good things regarding the location. Let's talk about the negative. It's not on the waterfront. You are not on the ocean. It is on the canal system, but you're not on that beautiful blue cerulean water. You're not on the oceanfront, which is the main reason people travel to Bonaire. So if the location on the waterfront is your main criteria, this might not be the property for you. And quite honestly, even though it's on the canal system, the views, they're just not good. I wish they were. I'd like to say better things about them. The canals are nice, but in general, if you've got an island view, it's of the canal, then it's of a dirt lot, and with the road behind it, or if it's of the makeshift boat ramp a lot of the locals use, or it's of construction sites, or some other houses, which are nice on the canal system, but it doesn't have a good view. So I wish I could say better about that. But if view is your thing and that's at the top of your criteria, this might not be the property for you, okay? Also, a big drawback for some folks is there's no dive shop on site. There used to be, but there no longer is. So if you want a property that offers house reef to dive and a dive shop on site where you can get your gear and store your gear and clean it and get your tanks, you don't have that here. I think they've got an arrangement with VIP divers. Don't hold me to that, but they've got some sort of arrangement, whether it's a discount or they work with them, but they are not on site. They are close by. Our favorite dive shop, Liz and mine's, Tropical Divers, is just a stone's throw from the Courtyard. So if you're staying at the Courtyard, we highly recommend you get your tanks and gear if you need it through Tropical Divers, because they're just around the corner. But there is no dive site or dive shop on site for the property. Okay, so that may be a drawback for you. Okay, another drawback of the Marriott Courtyard Bonaire would be the room size. The standard rooms are very small. It's just a hotel room. So if you're traveling with your spouse or partner or a roommate, maybe you've got a group of friends who are going and you're sharing rooms, they're small. Once you get all your gear unloaded, there's just no way out of it. There's not a lot of room to move around for two people. Even if you're a couple, if you got, once again, your partner or your spouse with you, once everything's out, you're on top of each other, not always for the right reasons. They're just small. There's no way around that. Now, if you're traveling with a group and you each have your own room, they're wonderful. Couldn't ask for more space. They're great. But for more than one person in the room for an extended period of time, you just don't have a lot of room. So keep that in mind. Something else about the rooms is there's no room service from the restaurant. Now I realize that's not a big deal for most folks. It's not for me, but if you're a person who likes room service, it's not offered there at the Marriott Courtyard. The restaurant, however, will fix food for you to take out. So you can walk down to the restaurant, pick it up, bring it back to your room. So it's really not a big deal, but wanted to mention that. Something else to consider regarding the rooms is they are very far away from the parking lot. Now, one of the nice things about the property is the aesthetics of it. It's a very pretty and pleasant place, but the rooms are far away from the parking lot, so you've got a long walk to get to your car. So if you've got mobility issues or you're just plain lazy, keep in mind that you're going to have the nice long walk every time you want to get to the car, anywhere from 75 to probably 150 yards. So it could be a good long walk in the afternoon when it's hot and you're walking on that concrete. Just keep that in mind if that's important to you. If you're like me and inevitably you're going to forget something every morning, get to your car, realize it, then have to go back to your room. If you're like that, keep that in mind. May not be important to you, but just wanted you to know that. Final drawback is going to be if you're actually paying with cash or with real money, not using Bonvoy points. I don't know that that's the best value for your dollar. When you look at the average room rate, which is anywhere from $175 to $250 per night, US dollars, given the time of year, it's not the best value. You can certainly find oceanfront properties for that amount per night, and especially for an extended stay, it just may not be the best value for your money, in my opinion, of course. If you're just there for a night or two, by all means, I think it does make sense then, even if you are paying with cash. Or if you're able to be upgraded to one of their two-room suites, which are phenomenal. They're very large and very spacious, and you're not having to pay for that upgrade. Or let's say you book with your Marriott points, a standard room, and then you want to pay for the upgrade to the two-room suite, then it does make sense to pony up a few dollars to do that, because the two-room suites are phenomenal. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about what room to book and how you want to pay for that room. Well, that's it, folks. That's the Courtyard Marriott Bonaire. There's a tour, there's an overview and some of the pros and cons as I see them. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it helps you make a decision on whether or not the property is right for you and those you're traveling with. If it did help you out, make sure you give it a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate that. Also, leave us a comment. Have you stayed at the Marriott Courtyard Bonaire yourself? What do you think about it? Leave some additional information for our viewers so you can help them decide whether or not it's right for them. Once again, we really can't thank you enough for watching and subscribing to our channel. But for now, I'm going to gear up, get in, and we'll see you at the next dive site.